How's everybody doing? It's Jerome Parker here. I apologize. This last Thursday, I did not have a tech talk. I was getting ready for a contract bid. I had two screenings basically, one on Thursday and one on Friday. So I was very swamped with that. But today, what I wanted to talk about is the issue of why is the black community afraid of technology? There seems to be a stigma that we do not belong in the technology space, whether it's computer science, computer engineering, electrical engineering, what have you. A lot of times when I'm trying to talk to colleagues of mine and trying to get them to um, venture into the computer science space, one of the things that I often hear is, "Oh, black people don't do that," or "You're an exception." And it baffles me because they'll tell me these things on the internet, and the mathematics that made the internet possible was created by a black man. Also, the modern chip processor. Sorry, I'm about to sneeze, or maybe not. There we go. Sorry about that. There was another famous computer engineer. His name was Mark Dean. He was part of the team that developed the ISA bus, and he led a design team for making the first 1 gigahertz processor chip. Revolutionized the computer science field. He was a black man. And then we also have, Ann Easley. We have. I'm not good. I'm not good with names, but you can just go on Google and type in black computer scientists, and you'll get a whole list of black engineers that revolutionized the computer science field. So, which begs the question: well, where did this stigma come from? What's up, Emporia? How you doing, man? Where did this stigma come from? When were we taught that we do not belong in science? All through our history, we have been engineers. All throughout history and antiquity, we have created new technology that revolutionized the field of whatever field it's in. And people tend to forget technology is not just silicon-based products. That is new age technology. Most everything is silicon-based, computer-based. But any technology is something that advances civilization. So irrigation, that's a technology that we invented. Aeronautics, agriculture, all this falls under the category of technology. Simon, how's good, man? This is my boy Simon from France. What part of France are you from, Simon? I always forget. I know you're not Paris. You're like 3 hours from Paris, right? Anywho, Nantes, France. Okay, that's cool. But anyway, I was saying, black people have always been on the forefront of technology, and now that we are in the computer age, I think it's very important that we continue. Did y'all work y'all way around the database problems? Tariq's been really busy, and he hasn't had a chance to get back to me. I've spoken to my legal team about what we need to do going forward, and I just need to consult with him. But I probably won't be able to get in touch with him. If I don't get in touch with him by Sunday, I'm probably just gonna call him to the show and just let him know to call me whenever he's free. His email, he's got like 4 different emails that he emails me from, so I never know which one he's gonna be checking. But from my end, from my legal team talked about it, and they said basically that there's just certain criteria we have to do to make sure that we going forward. But whatever. What about a foreign server or moniker? That's something that I thought about. That's something that I thought about heavily, because I do have a server farm in India. Well, I work with someone who owns a server farm in India, so I could easily go to his servers. So those are little technicalities that I haven't had time to really sit down and think about the best course of action from the technical perspective as well as the legal perspective. No problem, man. I appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all for watching me. I appreciate y'all for you know, giving me a chance to do it. But you're on the right topic. Where to begin? Oh, where to begin? Yeah, man. I mean, I struggle with that question a lot. Is where to begin because it's such a big field. But back to what I was saying. We have to do right by our ancestors. I mean, we have to continue being trailblazers in technology. Now that we're in a computer-based age, and here's the cool thing: everything that we need to know in order to learn what we need to learn in order to be revolutionary is all free. It's all free. You can look at it up on your phone. So there is no excuse in this day and age for ignorance. Because if at the very least, if you do not have a smartphone, you do not have a computer, you can still go get a library card and go to a public library. I did that. Can you hear me better now? Bad. Sorry, I had the phone too far away. Cool. I can't find my Bluetooth. I think my kids took my daughter in particular. She always finds my Bluetooth headset and she's always hiding it. And I fully charged it and now it's gone. So I'm assuming they threw it somewhere and I'm gonna find it behind a teddy bear or something. But yeah, everything, that's what I did. When I was 8, 9, 10, and 11, I lived basically down the street from the public library. And the public library was my favorite place to go. I loved going to the library. So after school, I would just go to the library, get on the computers. They had a few computer books. They didn't have a whole lot when I was starting to learn, but the internet was basically where I learned everything. And I just used the public resources. We pay taxes, or my mother pays taxes. I was a child, but that's what we pay for. So we need to utilize these institutions. We need to quit looking down on each other and on ourselves for wanting to better ourselves. There's nothing wrong with going to the library. I mean, I got ostracized a lot in school because I'd be studying calculus in 7th grade, or I would be studying Java instead of going out and playing basketball or whatever. And now, real talk, a couple of the same people are hitting me up on Facebook and Twitter asking me for jobs now. So back then, there wasn't as many resources to learn. Like, there wasn't YouTube back then. YouTube didn't come out till I was like, what, 7th, 8th grade? And by then I'd already written like 3 apps. So I was pretty good at this. But we didn't have YouTube, we didn't have Facebook, Twitter, and all this stuff. So in today's, our problem is the culture we have had in the last 50 years has been about getting by and getting over. We praise being dumb, we think is funny and cute. We praise ignorant behavior as a normal state. That is true, but how did we end up in that state? It's not enough to say that this is our current state. How did we get there so we can analyze it, so we can, going forward, have a plan to counteract? You have to look at the present, past, and future in order to solve the problem. But back to what I was saying, the learning time is cut exponentially now because of the internet and how vast it is and all the resources on it. So literally, you can pay to go to these boot camps and it's like, 3 months and you're industry ready. Well, those same 3 months can be spent on YouTube, or can be spent at the library, can be spent on the internet learning this stuff. Because most of these classes, they end up putting them for free on Google, on YouTube anyway. Like MIT has their full computer science course for free on YouTube, and so does Berkeley, I believe, and Stanford. And those, 3 top computer science schools in the country, or 3 of the top, rather. So if you spend time, you spend 2-3 months learning the skill, you can write something on your own on purpose and don't want much out of life. I do think that people do ignore the problems on purposely, and that some of them don't want too much out of life. But I also don't believe that people are born like that. I believe that, you know, you're a circumstance of nature and nurture. So circumstance and learned behaviors. So while you do have to have self accountability past a certain age in life, while you do have to have accountability past a certain age in life, you do still have to understand what conditions led you to be that way. And if you can't do that, then you're going to be stuck in a hamster wheel forever, wondering why uh, your life is the way that it is. If you guys can't hear me, I'm gonna go inside. My son's in there watching TV, so I just didn't want him screaming in the background. And my daughter's taking a nap, but I could, if you guys can't hear, let me know, and I'll just go upstairs into my room. Okay. So yeah, so you can teach yourself these skills in 3 months. You can write an app by yourself, and it can be self-sufficient. That's a way to get yourself. I think when brothers started dealing drugs, being economically deprived, drugs the government brought in, we developed a get it by any means, killing each other over territory, money, etc. Exactly. We can talk hours about how the war on drugs basically set the foundation for the economic and social depravity that we experience in the black community today. But yeah, that's absolutely true in my opinion. So that's how you can individually get yourself out of economic depravity with computer science and technology, right? You can teach yourself. You can write an app that makes you money, and it's just by yourself. Or this is how you get a community out of economic depravity. If you write an application and you write a platform application, so basically it's an app like Uber and Lyft, an app that is a platform for people to make money. So you write an app where people can, I don't know, you can order lemonade during the summer in your neighborhood. So it's just in your neighborhood. You write it. You tell all your neighbors, hey, if you want lemonade, you can order on this app, and we will deliver it to your door. And you can order by any quantity. So you write this app, and in this app, people can sign up to be lemonade deliverers, and you give them a percentage. So let's say $1, okay? Let's say, or $2. Let's say it costs $2 for a glass of lemonade that you're selling on this app, and any person who delivers it gets 75 cents per item delivered, right? So, and then you can have somebody else who signs up as a lemonade maker, right? So if you sign up as a lemonade maker, you get $1 on each batch of lemonade, which leaves you 25 cents that you make as the application developer, and you don't have to do anything. So what did you just do? You created an app that economically sustains you. 25 cents might not economically sustain you, but whatnot. But you create an app that you get money residually. You can employ people in your neighborhood who can work and stop at any time they want, get paid anytime they want, and you're delivering a service, this lemonade, to people within your neighborhood. So you're circulating money within the neighborhood. And I think if we had, a lot of people are trying to, sometimes you just put your finger on the sound and put, yeah, probably. This led us to the gangster lifestyle that was personified by outside forces as to what black men supposed to be: gangsters, hoodlums, dumb, and getting bad bitches. Feminism came before the drug game too. That is true. That is true. Hit him back later. That is true, and I think I am going to eventually do a video. I don't have time to do a long video today, but I think I want to do a video on that, on what you're talking about, Emporia, because basically, you know, there was the war on drugs, and then there was the media aspect of it, and those two work together to create this stereotype that perpetuates to today, and how we can beat that, how it happened, how it's led to us where we're at, and how we can overcome it. I might do a video probably in a couple weeks about that. Actually, got me interested. But so yeah, so if you had I tweeted yesterday, I think, if we had 5% of the black population get into technology, that 5% could single-handedly transform the economic landscape of the black community. Because if you had just one person in each neighborhood writing an app like that, right, or it don't even have to be an app. It could be any sort of service that you're getting money from the neighborhood which you live in, and you're putting that money back into that neighborhood. I call that the Chinatown theory. You know, Chinatown, when a dollar goes into Chinatown, it stays in the neighborhood for some like 39 or 42 days, something like that. I've seen different reports, but I'm just gonna round up to 45. That dollar stays in the community for about 45 days before it leaves Chinatown. And then in the black community, it's something like 13 minutes. Like, we get it and we spend it, and we don't spend it with our people. And so, you know, I'm really a fan of writing software as a service apps. And those are apps like Uber, like Lyft, you know, apps where people can sign up, make money doing something on the app. You know, whether there's, I'm writing an e-commerce store site. Like, I'm working on a web app right now where people can sell their baby clothes that still got the tags on them. You know, I, my daughter in particular, she has so many clothes that still have the tag on them, and I was like, man, I wish I could sell these back somewhere. And then I had the idea for the app. I mean, that if we had enough people doing that, focusing the niche on their community, you know, a lot of people try to have like the $1 billion. They're trying to make that next $1 billion company and think that's the only way that they're going to make it. If they make that next Snapchat, make that next Instagram. But, you know, it doesn't have to be like that. It doesn't. Um, Success comes when, you know, all your financial success comes when all your bills and stuff are being paid. You're having a savings, and you have peace of mind. You know, you don't have to make millions and millions. So, like I said, you know, if you're living in a socially deprived area, I believe every hood, every economically deprived area can gentrify its own self. So gentrification is going to happen either internally or externally. And there's nothing wrong with gentrification if it's done internally. And like using the methods like I said before. It's external gentrification that's, you know, basically genocide. You know, making it so expensive people can't live. But, you know, there's been prime examples of people who like bought back their neighborhoods. You know, because a lot of times these houses in these areas, you can get them for like 20,000, 40,000, because nobody wants them. So, you know, I've always had this theory that if people, you know, if people in these economically deprived areas, if we have people who were coming up in those areas, and instead of moving out, they started buying the houses or apartments in the area in which they live. Um, I think that it would drastically change the landscape. Because when you own real estate, you have power, right? So we have this mentality where, you know, we're in a bad situation and we just kind of want to run away from it. You know, I'm gonna get my money up and move out this neighborhood. I'm gonna get my money up and, you know, buy my kids something better, which is noble in intent. However, there's really nowhere to run exactly. Property taxes. So, schools. A lot of schools, I believe most schools, get their funding from uh the real estate taxes in the neighborhoods around. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure in a lot of areas that's how it works. It's like the funding is based on how much taxes the people are getting in the neighborhoods around. So, like I said, a lot of these homes, they're like really like dirt pennies on a dollar, dirt cheap because nobody wants them. So if you had these people in these areas buying the homes and stuff in which they were living, increasing the property value, people start building businesses in the neighborhood because you have residential zoning, you have mixed zoning, you have commercial zoning, and this, that, and the third. So you have little Jeremy. He buys some land in a mixed zone area. They put a corner store or something in there, or they do the app thing or whatnot. Now you have more commerce in the area, increasing the value. You're paying more on property taxes. The schools are getting better. That's internal gentrification. I mean, it's the same thing that the dominant society does to us externally. You look at Oakland, San Francisco, New York, all these areas that have been gentrified, and what do? They quote clean it up, raise the cost of living, which raises tax revenue, put a school there, and the schools get better. I mean, it's all goes down to ownership, and I believe that technology, because we lack economically, generationally economically, technology and computer science is like the only field that's been shown to springboard people into economic success, outside of stuff like the stock market. But the thing with the stock market is it's like completely risk. The cool thing about learning computer science skills is, like I said, you can go work for work for a company. You can start your own consulting company like I did, and consult with companies. You can write your own apps. You can teach. It is unlimited potential because every industry intersects with computer science. And if you do not believe me, name one right now that does not interact with computer science. You literally put yourself into the nervous system of the economy. I don't know if you guys saw or not, but Trump signed an executive order last month calling for the modernization of the federal IT infrastructure. And he had a meeting with Silicon heads and a bunch of venture capitalists in DC yesterday, and was basically asking Silicon Valley's help for modernizing the IT infrastructure, because the corporate infrastructure completely craps on the federal IT infrastructure. No computer science in church? That's not true. That's not true. Matter of fact, there's a couple apps. I was working on an app called People in the Pews. And basically we're working with churches, and people can do like e-tithes. They can do their streaming of their services. A lot of churches, especially a lot of these mega churches, they already do stuff like that. So that's not true. I have to argue that. Now, it's not as invasive with the smaller churches, but you look at these mega churches, oh no, man, they got apps and websites and all sorts of stuff. Take it 10% right out your bank account. Don't even worry about it. Just come and say hallelujah. What was I saying? Wow, they don't digitize the tithes. Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah, they'll send, and if you miss it, they'll send you an email, be like, you forgot the tithe this week. You wanna fix that? They sell advertising spaces in their they got billboards in some of these churches, and they sell advertising space and everything, man. That's crazy. But what was I saying? Oh yeah. So you put yourself into Trump called for the modernization of the federal IT infrastructure, and he basically is saying, which is something people have been saying for a long time, that our IT infrastructure is horribly weak. There's been over 1,000, or was it close to 100,000 hacks in the government across local, state, federal. People have been hacking into U.S. systems. A lot of these stuff are still running like Windows XP, that. And our military, they Microsoft has a giant contract. That's why everything corporate, everything government is usually Windows based, even though Windows is a POS. But that's probably going to change. A lot of people are saying we should switch to a Linux based IT infrastructure, which a lot of countries already do, which I agree with, because it's just much more secure. But anyway, the point of what I'm saying about this is that with this EO, when it goes through, there's going to be a lot of need for computer scientists. So this is this is just another way for us to get in to the industry, and not only get in, but it's more like infiltration, really, because we need to not only get into the technology space, we need to rise to positions of power. We need black CEOs, we need black VPs, we need black directors of engineering. We need all this. And there's going to be a subset of us who are going to do the entrepreneurial route, but there's going to be a lot of people who are going to have to go the corporate or private or public sector route, and we need those people. So it's very important right now, because here's the thing: the skills that are needed to do this, the advanced level stuff, you can't teach that overnight. And the computer science field is so massive that nobody expects somebody to know everything. So as long as you show an ability to learn, then people will give you a chance. So, and the best way of doing that is teaching yourself and writing your own applications and products. If you want to go into DevOps, make work with your Puppet skills and stuff like that, and show these people, hey, I know what I'm doing. And then once you get that first job, you're in. You're good. So we need to stop being afraid. We need to stop with this, oh man, black people don't do that mentality. Oh man, that's too hard, I'm gonna give up. Oh, I heard computer science involves a lot of math. Here's the thing: the majority of the hard math that is needed for computer science has already been implemented. It was implemented in the 60s, 70s, 80s. Right, you're probably thinking along these lines, but black people need to do tech to protect ourselves. If we are to recreate Black Wall Street again, what is to stop folk from hacking into our wealth, attacking us? You are absolutely right. And that's why later, I probably won't start this series until next year, because I'm focusing on the web development series this year. But I do plan on doing a hacking series, so you can learn how to protect yourself against malicious threats. But yeah, I mean, we need it. As you saw with the presidential election, warfare has more or less gone to cyberspace. We don't have to worry as much about, like you said, if we recreate Black Wall Street, we don't have to worry about bombs being dropped from the planes, more as people hacking into our servers. Warfare has gone cyber. So yeah, we need programmers, we need network analysts, we need security engineers, we need the full range. So I just implore people, if you're interested and you're trying to learn how to code, if you're following my videos, just try to get at least one more person interested, because that's how it starts. It's got to be a distributed approach. I wanted to apply for some federal grant money to try to do some boot camps in inner city areas. I want to start with Louisville. I wanted to do Chicago. I wanted to do Oakland and New York. And I'm running into various red tape with that. And this is actually part of the reason why I turned to YouTube, because I believe that if I can get enough traction, that I could do what I wanted to do with less resources. So that was basically my rant. I didn't really have too big of an agenda to do this video. One, like I said, I wasn't able to stream yesterday or Friday because I'm bidding for a new contract. But so all my energy was focused on that, and so I just didn't want you guys to go the rest of the weekend without any content. But to just, get people thinking, share this video, get people to like and subscribe. Um, this is normally something I'd be safe for the tech talk. But do you guys have any questions? Do you have anything that you guys want to talk about? Any questions do you like to ask me? Because I'm sure the questions that you have are questions that thousands of other people have, and it's important to address those. Because my mentality on this whole thing is a little different because of the route that I took to become a computer scientist. Like I said, I've been doing this since I was 8 years old, and I was blessed enough. Hey Jerome, how much do you think it will cost to start up a cryptocurrency cloud mining? That's a good question because I was actually looking at that the other day. So for those who don't know, Bitcoin and a lot of other cryptocurrencies can be mined. And Bitcoin, I'm gonna stick with Bitcoin right now. It used to be you could, mine Bitcoin with a Raspberry Pi. But as the blockchain gets larger and larger, you need more computational power to mine the results. So now they have these dedicated USB miners. Like it's got its own chipset on it, and it's dedicated just mining. It costs like $2,400, and those mine your Bitcoin. And you can do these things. You can go to these web apps and you can create pools. Well, basically, you and a bunch of people pool your miners together to try to get Bitcoins, and then you split the Bitcoin. How risky is it? It can be pretty risky because there is no legal obligation for the person who owns the pool to split it with you. So it's a lot of trust involved. So I suggest if you're gonna do it, you do it with somebody that we do it with people that you trust. And if you don't have enough people around you, then there's some reputable ones. If you just Google it, like you'll find it. I mean, people will let you know real quick if it's jank because it's really expensive. But I think Bitcoin is will be a prime building block in rebuilding the Black diaspora, the economic stronghold across the Black diaspora, because it is decentralized. There's no central bank that can tell us what to do and try to sabotage us that way. So if you can afford it, do it. And also look into some other cryptocurrencies, some of the ones that are newer that don't require as much computing power yet, because you might be able to just do some of those right on your own computer. But if I were you, before I would just stick solo. I would buy a USB miner, and try to like get you and maybe two other people and try it that way first. And because the cloud mining is for people who trying to they know what they're doing. They've been doing it for a while, and now they're trying to step up their game and get like hella rich. So before you do that, you need to do it by yourself first and actually understand the tips and the tricks of it. But another thing you can do is like learn how to write an app and accept Bitcoin as payment. I think you're right to teach to get the knowledge. I think towards the kids because it's always trying to help 34 years to better themselves, and they want to debate till the end of time. Yeah, dude. My target demographic is 18 to 34, basically. But that's the most people who watch my videos. I try to target to kids and at least try to teach people to teach their kids, but without having like a brick and mortar place where I can actually physically host workshops, it's hard to really target the kids because what kids are gonna sit and watch this YouTube video for 2 hours? You feel me? But yeah, back to the Bitcoin. Another thing is like if you learn the Bitcoin API, write an app, and start accepting Bitcoin. That's probably that's the fastest way, to be honest. That's the fastest, because Bitcoin apps are hot and people are always are looking for ways to spend their Bitcoin. And Stripe actually takes Bitcoin as a payment. However, it converts the payment. They pay you dollars and they keep the Bitcoin. But there's a people with Bitcoin usually have a lot of disposable income in terms of Bitcoin. So even that in itself will give you a return. But is there any other questions? Anything else you guys want me to talk about? What do you guys think about the new Snapchat feature with the maps? What are your guys' input on that? You see their stock shot, like their stock went vertical when they dropped that feature. And I personally think that it is going to be used against people in terms of like law enforcement and stuff like that. Reminds me of my Soccer Droid app. But in case people don't know what the new feature is, you can basically like they can track your location on Snapchat, so it shows you on the Google map and where you're at and stuff like that. These people are about to get caught up left and right. Reminds me of my Soccer Droid app. I wrote that for fun and to get people to, as an example, to get people to realize how much permission they're giving up when they download these apps. Do people even stop and think, why are these apps free? Do we even stop and think about that? When you're using these apps, you're not the consumer. You are the product. That's why stuff like ads are so prevalent. And these ads always seem to magically match up to what you just happened to have been talking about in your conversation with your friend 5 minutes ago. I know everybody has noticed that. All these ads are like they're hyper personalized. Like, it's scary. They just want to be trending. I'm very, and that's why I like APIs, because usually when these apps put out their APIs so developers can write their own apps, they're not as invasive, because they're not doing things like geolocation and stuff, because that's built into their own compiled app. So that's why I like to write my own Twitter apps. I like to write my own Facebook apps, because I just want to see my posts. I don't want to see all these ads. I just want to tweet. I don't want to, I just want to see certain tweets. I wrote an app a few weeks ago, a couple months ago, and it looked on Twitter, and in real time it showed up crime tweets. I listen to certain keywords and like people who trying to do drug transactions. People like hit me up for a pack, and they have their phone number and stuff. And so I was listening on these tweets, and in real time you just see these tweets going up, and I'm like, you people are dumb. People give out way too much information, and I've done it for various, like, not just crime. Yeah, seriously. Twitter has this thing where you can stream. It'll give you the real-time feed. You can give it keywords. You can do it. You can put a bounding box based on GPS coordinates. So if you only want to see what people are saying in California, or you only want to see what people are saying in Japan, you can put a bounding sphere around the area. So I did the United States, and I listened for certain crime tweets. People, don't give that crown to after Sarah and the feds. That's hilarious. That is hilarious. Yeah, but my point when I do stuff like that is like to show people. I'll put it out, be like, hey, I always want people to think before they put this stuff out here. It's like we're afraid. The black community is afraid of learning technology, but we ain't afraid to use it for some dumb shit. And it's kind of annoying. At this point, it's really annoying for me. I just want us to stop falling for the okie doke. You know, we fall for the okie doke way too much. We need to stop and think. And another reason why I advocate people learning computer science is because once you learn, I think we influence technology, making these folks. Yeah, we absolutely are influencing technology and making these people billionaires. Absolutely. You know how much Twitter ad money Twitter gets from Black Twitter, and we're not even thousandaires. Exactly. A lot of us ain't even hundredaires. You know, you feel me? A lot of us get excited just when we got $100 in our pocket. But once you learn about technology, once you learn how this stuff is implemented technically, your whole brain changes. You look at the whole world differently. Apple is working on, they're focusing all of their efforts on their new autonomous vehicle. I don't know what they're going to call it. I'm just going to call it the iCar. But yeah, they're working on an autonomous vehicle. So these people went from making MP3 players to making phones to making cars. And everybody's on this, autonomous car, I don't want to drive, yada, yada. Do you realize that if we ever win, this is going to happen, when we get to the point where majority of the cars are autonomous and we have smart roads and all that, you're going to, what's stopping government assassinations? You know, like what's stopping somebody from hacking your car and just driving you off that cliff? Like, it sounds conspiracy theorist like, but it's possible. There was every year in Las Vegas there's a hacker convention. Hold on, Emporia. I'm gonna get to that question in a second. Let me finish this. Every year in Vegas there is a hacker convention, and 2 or 3 years ago there was this man who was going to give a keynote speech on how to hack heart defibrillators and kill someone from, I think it was up to 150 meters away. So you can hack to the heart defibrillator and control the shock value and shock the heart, kill somebody. And 2 days before the event, he was found in a river, or a creek rather. It wasn't even a river, it was a shallow creek. What's stopping these people from hacking your car? I mean, that's a person where I like to bike and walk. You know, you feel me? I be paranoid that somebody won't like me and do the wires. I turn the car on and that thing explode. I don't even like truth be told, it's just a convenience thing. You feel me? I'd rather walk and bike everywhere I gotta go. But I don't trust that. I mean, I'm just gonna say it out there. I don't trust that. But Emporia, what'd you say? He said, let me ask, what are the areas where there's room for expansion in making apps? Sometimes I feel like everything is made already. Guess I have a new programming block. No. So that's a great question. Right now, the hot topic is the on-demand economy. And the on-demand economy is stuff like Uber, Airbnb, stuff, you know, using technology so you can get stuff on demand, real-time delivery, stuff like that. Platform-based apps where people can get paid. AR and VR, if you want to go into gaming. And even apps that have already been made, there's always room to make it better. You know, let me give an example. Okay, so I mean, you had what was that? You know, you had Flickr before you had Instagram. Instagram's not a new idea. Instagram just did it better. You feel me? So there's always room for making an app better. People want newness, exactly. That the reason why Facebook does so well is because they add a new feature every damn 2 weeks. If you can make something, you can just keep it new, keep it novel, and people gonna mess with it. But look, like I said earlier, a lot of people, they try to think that big, huge landscape. I want to make an international app that is going to make me billions of dollars, when there's a lot of low hanging fruit in writing distributed apps targeted to stuff like neighborhoods, targeted stuff like to write an app just for your city, or write an app just for your school if you're in college or you're in high school. People, there's a lot of money to be made in the micro economy just as much as there is to make in the macro economy. So I tell people that just think outside the box. Think, go out into your neighborhood and walk around the block and pay attention to the people in your neighborhood. Pay attention to anything they might be struggling with, and think, okay, how could I write something that would make their life better? And how can I write it in a way that they might pay me? So I was thinking about writing an app for on-demand mechanics. So a mechanic can sign up, and it's like Uber for mechanics. Your car breaks down, you don't have AAA, you can open up the app, and it'll find the nearest mechanic, and they'll come, and you can pay them right there on the spot. And then I take, like, I don't know, 5-8%. Thank you, Corey. Another app idea that I had is like Blue Apron for farmers. So essentially, I don't know if people know what Blue Apron is, but it's an app where you can order meals and they are delivered to your door. So I was thinking of writing an app where farmers can sign up. So, like, whether you're an industrial farmer or you're a subsistence farmer, if you have a little extra, or you got huge wholesale, people can say, hey, I want some onions, some kibasas, carrots, tomatoes, and then you ship it to them. 1-day shipping, express food shipping. And then I take, I don't know, 5-8%. I usually say between the 5 and 8%. And that's a good industry standard for, like, if you're taking like prescription or percentage based revenue. But literally, dude, like, every day, all day, I'm just looking at stuff and thinking, how can I write an app for that? How can I write an app for that? How can I write an app for that? It's just hustling, really. That's all it is. You can sit on your porch and just ponder, like, how can I use my hands to make money? And that's why I think that is definitely in the top, like, 3 reasons why I love doing this. Like, I can start with a blank screen with these hands, start coding, put out an app, and then by the end of the week, it makes me some money. I don't care if it's $1. That's $1 that I made myself. I didn't have to ask nobody's permission. I didn't have to beg my manager, can I have a few extra hours? Like, it's crap. And yeah, we just need more black people doing that. We need more black people making these app companies so we can hire people, or making apps that target the black community that will help empower us. And that's why when I started Treat Me at Home, and it still is, my target audience is the black community. How many girls do hair in the hood, do hair and nails, that babysit, that tutor in the black community. They go and do somebody's hair or the like. That's why I wrote that app, so people can just be like, hey, let me book Keisha to go get these braids done, and Keisha can just come to my house. Oh, I would have never known Keisha, but it turns out she's 2 blocks away from me. And if it weren't for this app, and that's, black money helping black people circulating in the black community. It was really why I try to get people on Treatment Home. Having trouble, mostly marketing trouble. The app's done, the web app. I'm working on the mobile app, but just trying to get people to try it out. So I don't know. What you guys? This is one of the reasons that drew me to it. Once I get the hang of it, I can just write whatever comes to mind. The creation process is just as good feeling. That's why I like coding too. Yeah. The creation process is just as fulfilling. Like I said. It's just like that. That's why the Creator put us on this earth, is to create things, and we have to go back to producing. Right now, we as a Black community, we're vastly consumers, and we don't have enough producers. So, and this goes beyond just technology, but the focus of this channel and this talk is technology. You know, we need more people producing in the technology field. There was something I was gonna say, and it's kind of slipping my mind. Thank you. I think so too. Will Thrill said, excellent philosophy. Appreciate it. Let's see. Is there anything else that I want to say? Is there anything else that you guys want to say? We're at 50 minutes, so I'm gonna try to get off here in the next 10 minutes. If you guys don't have any more questions, and I'm gonna end it early and whatnot. Here's my garden. I picked a lot of it. I got a small garden. Got some cantaloupe. Back here I had all my herbs. I had a bunch of mint and stuff. I already cut that down. I got some collard greens that I grew way too close to each other, and I got some peppers growing. But I don't even know. That was just random. Just trying to break time. Let's see. Emporia Prime. Yes, we out here talking about buying power, and that ain't power. Like Dr. Claude Anderson said, when crackheads buy crack, that is not crackhead power. Yeah, right. Exactly. Like we have a $1.2 trillion buying power, and we spend it on everybody but ourselves. What? How many Black people are in America? It's like 20 million, something like, or 40 million. We're 13% of the population, and we produce $1.2 trillion. That's almost a tenth of the GDP for the country. So, you know, imagine if we had these apps, and you know, we had like a Black version of Airbnb, a Black version of Uber, and all this stuff, and we targeted ourselves, and we helped ourselves virtually. You know, basically do what like the Asian community does. They stick together like a mofo. You know, imagine if we did that. We'd have our own dispersed application, and even stuff. And I'm thinking of stuff like not just in America, but writing apps that can interact with people over in Africa. One of the cool things about Stripe is that it accepts over 120 currencies. So it accepts a lot of African currencies. We can write apps that target our brothers and sisters over in the motherland. So that's actually some stuff I'm working on. Trying to figure out what I'm trying to do now. Stripe be tripping, because like you can accept currencies from over 125 countries, but you cannot create platform apps for all the countries in which you can accept money in. So like, you know, you can write apps where you can pay people in like 20 or like 30 countries, and I don't know how many of them are African countries. But, you know, so that's the only reason why I haven't written any apps targeted to African people, trying to bring them money, because I can't right now. But, you know, we can definitely target stuff to them, you know, sell stuff to them. And that's and then of course once that functionality comes in, we can then write applications to economically help benefit them. But everybody, if we get a chance, check out Stripe.com.